My name is Adedayo Akirele. I want to show us how to use DAX to correct 100% error in pivot table. I will also show us how to use nested DAX to add emoji to your model pivot table. Let's quickly dive into that. I have this, let me just give you us a brief introduction of these data sets. This HR attrition data, analytic projects I was working on. It's a clean data already, as you can see. I just want to quickly model attrition, to show us these 2 points I want to show us talked about. Now let's quickly insert our pivot table to model attrition. How do we go about that? You click on your insert, you click on pivot table, then you click on from table/range. Then when this window comes out, you add this data to the data model and click OK. Yeah, we have inserted a pivot table. Let me quickly rename this sheet to attrition 2. Then I right click on it and color code it. I want to color code it as some shade of red. Yes. Now to quickly do that, using DAX we want to use DAX to get our total employee. Right click on the table and click add mayor. So add mayor. The name of our mayor is total employee. Employee 2. So you can either use count or distinct count, but I would prefer to use a distinct count because we are working on a primary key. Primary key is a unique identifier on our data set. So, and the employee ID is a unique identifier, that does not carry duplicates, So therefore, I'm going to use a distinct count to get the total number of employee out. So you type your function distinct. You can see, just select that distinct count and use your tab to open the function. Then we'll click on our data. The name of our data table is data. Then we click on data employee ID. Then we close the brackets. Then we want it to be in number, whole number. Then you click use 1000 separator, comma separator, and we click OK. Yes, so we should have our total employee. We bring it to value. You see, that's 780. So if we want to confirm that, we go to our data page. Go to our data page. I click on query. Then I click edit. It takes me back to the Power Query. Then I click on transform. I click on count rows. Yeah, we see that is 780. So our DAX is correct. Then I click on close and load. Then we can also use function to confirm by, let me just use a count function to confirm here. Counts, use your equal sign, counts, we use count A because we want to count text. Our employee ID is in text, is a text data type, so we use count A. So it counts, then we give you the range of what we want to count. Click on, then Control Shift downward arrow to select to the last, then you close the bracket and you press enter. So let's see our output. 780, you can see 780. So our DAX is correct. Okay, let's proceed. Now we also want to calculate, for us to get using DAX to calculate percentage 100% error, we want to bring in our attrition rate DAX. So for us to do that, we need to first of all add a new mayor. Right click and click add new mayor. So we need to get attrition without filtering. That's the name of our mayor. Then we use, how do we go about that? We use calculate function. Calculate. Then what do we want it to calculate? We want it to calculate the employee ID, count of employee ID. So calculate count of employee ID. Then we close the brackets for count, then comma, all. We use all function. Yeah, so all attrition, data attrition. Then we close the bracket for all function. Then we close the bracket for calculate function. So we want it to be a number, whole number. Yes. Click OK. Now, after doing that, remember we are going to calculate attrition rates in order to remove the 100% error that usually show if you use show value as percentage or column total. So now we go back there again to our table. We had right click and click on add mayor. Then we click on the name of our new mayor again is attrition rate 2. Just decide to add 2. So we now do total employee 2. We close the brackets, divided by attrition without filtering. That's, you can see FX, that is prefixing, that attrition without filtering, showing that we use DAX to get that. That's a DAX calculated measure. So then we want it to be in percentage number. Then you come here, you choose percentage. Want it to have 0 decimal place, so you adjust that to 0. Decimal place is 0, and you click OK. Yes. So let's bring in our attrition rate to value feed. It's showing 100% because we need to we need to slice it, to slice it further by attrition. Then you bring attrition to column, to row field. Yes. So we can see we have our total employee that are still active in the company is 546, and their percentage is 70% of the total number of employees, 780. So then we have those that have left the company as 234, and their percentage is 30% of the total number of employee. So we can see there's a high attrition rate there. Attrition rate shouldn't be, I think the standard is around 10%. Anything above that shows that there's a problem in the system. So, and needs to be looked into. Then let's bring in, this attrition rate. You can also get it by bringing in our total employee 2. You will bring it into the value feed on your pivot table. Then you right click on it and say show value as percentage of total column, which will give us the same value as attrition rate, as DAX calculated attrition rate. But the difference is that when we are slicing through our data, we are filtering our data, you see that the total employee 2 that we get the percentage through show value as will be showing us 100, while the DAX calculated attrition rate will remain 70%, 30%, which is their actual rate of yes, no, and yes attrition. And that is the difference, and the difference we want to show there. You click on formats. Just want it to be formatted to 0 decimal places, and you click OK. Now let's bring in our slicer. Let's insert our slicer. How do we go about that? You click on insert, you click on the pivot table, click on insert, click on slicer. Then we bring in attrition slicer and click OK. So when I slice by no, you can see that our DAX calculated attrition rate gives us the exact actual percentage of the total employee that are still active, while the show value as percentage of 100 error is still giving us 100%, which is wrong. It's wrong. So that is how to do, to use DAX to correct that 100% error show as value. Thank you. Then I want to quickly show us, let me clear the filtering. Then I want to